Okay, let's talk about Jamie Newman. When I did my top 10 quarterbacks podcast with Kyle, I had him as my eighth rated quarterback. So, he's in that group of guys that I like, guys that I don't love. He's kind of like the guy I'd want to spend like maybe like ideally like a fifth round pick on, but maybe even a fourth or a third if it was necessary. Like a late third, I would be okay with like maybe Tampa Bay doing that because I actually think he would fit that system. But Newman is a really interesting player. He's got this huge arm and that it really pops on screen. So we'll start off with this play. What's going to happen is that it's a play action. He's hitting a receiver over the middle. This is a very simple thing, something you do see in the NFL a good amount though. So that's why I wanted to bring it up. Watch how once this play starts, it's this looks like an RPO because he held it for a very long time. That's honestly Newman did that a lot though. So part of me just wonders if they have a weird play action. I don't know, but either way, that's what they would do in Wake Forest. And you see the receiver he wants to hit, but Newman pretty much has to get it there now. So he's going to have to get the ball there in a hurry if he wants to make this throw. As the longer he waits, a linebacker can step back. And on top of this, he's going to basically have to throw it over a linebacker, which is a difficult throw to make. This is going to have to be really accurate and get there in a hurry. And watch how it's really accurate and it gets there in a hurry. Just a really good throw. Again, I know that I got to be honest, the video itself isn't too great. Wake Forest tape is a little bit difficult to find compared to some other tapes. So that's why, but that's what really good throw there. Now let's talk about this play. So this is going to be it's a deep ball and it's kind of, so listen, he has an incredibly strong arm. There's no denying that. One of the issues though, is it does kind of feel like a lot of times in Wake Forest, the strategy would just send a receiver deep. Newman can hit him and you hope that it works out. And it's just 50-50 balls more so than like great throws. Like watch, once this play starts, I mean, Newman's throwing deep all the way. He doesn't even think about anything else. There's a bit of separation, not much. This is a kind of a tough throw. I don't hate the decision whatsoever. I'm just sort of saying that like he's making these decisions before it even happens. But watch his throw. I mean, it's just a perfect accurate throw that you really like. And so that's kind of the thing is, yes, these are kind of jump balls to some degree, but they're also just very accurate throws. So it kind of goes both ways really, where yes, you could argue it's not necessarily a great, this high quality decision, but he can at least make these throws consistently. But now I got to show a play like this where, same coverage, cover one man, same play, same concept. One receiver runs deep towards the sideline, you hit him. But when you go up against a team like Clemson, it's just more difficult to make this work than when you're playing Rice. Watch, Newman does the same thing where, he's planning on throwing this ball deep. It's not the worst throw in the world. It is definitely underthrown. And the reality is that if you make small mistakes against good corners, it's not going to work out the same way it works out when you make small mistakes against these bad corners that you'll see in other schools. And as you see, this one is just really relatively easily intercepted, quite frankly. And that's just kind of the thing is, when you throw up 50-50 balls, sometimes the defense is going to catch them. Another thing I've noticed about Newman will be shown on this play. It's going to just be a route over the middle. You see that there should be a gap right there due to it's going to be cover 2 blitz right here. So there could be certainly a gap that's open. And watch, Newman takes the snap, and you see, I mean, there's just a receiver who this is a throw you have to make. And this is another concern I have with Newman. You're going to see there's a little bit of pressure, and I feel like when he can't really get his feet set and get prepared, he does miss some throws. He has very good fundamentals, but when he has to sort of throw, not doing what he typically likes, that's where he can definitely miss some throws. Watch this overthrow, which ends up, just falling incomplete. And that was a 3rd down and 5. And that would have been a 1st down had he made it. So there was a guy around his, lower body. That's why. But still, it's a throw you want to see someone make if you're going to spend a draft pick on. We can also talk about one like this. It's, again, going to be a zone coverage play. And the way this works is that you have a receiver who's going to kind of block for a second and then run a go route. And with another receiver who's just starting off running a go route, he'll kind of clear out the safety. And now you have a second receiver who runs underneath and he could get open. And so Newman's going to take the snap right here. He, fakes a screen. Offensive line does their job. And I've changed angles so you can see what's going on. The player who I've circled in yellow, that's the guy who Newman wants to hit. But the issue is that, I've circled a Clemson player in black. That's the safety who's supposed to be covering the right side of the screen right now. But since there's no Wake Forest player over there, he's just kind of moving over. And this is part of the thing where the reality is Wake Forest just had kind of a very predictable offense, I would say, in a lot of ways, for one thing. And the other thing is just that this is an issue that you'll see with a lot of quarterbacks that are young trying to get into the NFL is they kind of can struggle when a player does something that they're not quote unquote supposed to. Like for example, a safety reading the play and moving over. Like you might read a play and say, "Okay, cover two zone. I know the rules for this," but sometimes a defender is going to realize what you're doing and go out and beat you, and you have to recognize that. And Newman's not doing that here. He still makes the throw and it's going to be intercepted. This isn't a huge negative, just a little thing that I felt like I could bring up. One last thing I feel like I have to talk about is his pocket presence. It's not great. It's not great. This is going to be a cover one man blitz. So it's a blitz. You should be thinking, okay, I can't hold on to the ball forever. But again, the cover one part of it kind of makes you want to be able to take a shot potentially. So watch, right when this play starts, there's pressure pretty quickly and there's no short routes. So it's not like Newman can necessarily just, dump it off to anybody. His back who is trying to block is on the ground right now. So it's a tough situation for Newman. But really, what I would say he should do is either take the sack or just try and throw the ball away. That's what you can't still be trying to hold on to the ball and make a throw right here. But it seems like he just doesn't notice this pressure is coming, which is just a mistake. Watch how not only does he get into trouble, but he ends up losing the ball, and that's a defensive touchdown with a fumble recovery when the ball never even hit the ground. So good play, sure, by Utah State, but that just can't happen by Newman. He has to be better than that, and that won't fly in the NFL. Like this one's another one where it's going to be, I've circled that edge rusher right there because he's going to be the guy who makes this pressure immediately. Watch how once this play starts, you notice that he gets to the inside. He's doing a good job right here. So there's pressure immediately. Again, this is not Newman's fault at this point. This is just a bad job blocking up front. Same thing with the last one. But still, as a quarterback, you have to minimize the damage here. Whether that's, honestly, you could just go down. But, if you feel like you can step up in the pocket and maybe just throw the ball away, that would be a huge win. And while he does step up in the pocket, then he continues to try and run around, does a spin move, and just gets tackled, and takes a big hit. So while I know a lot of people are going to be saying, well, you suggested maybe go down there, really what I preferred is that if you could find a way to get rid of the football, that's what some other prospects would certainly be able to do. Or at least if you go down, you're not taking that big hit, which if you want to be an NFL quarterback, it's concerning. You can get hurt that way if you keep taking those hits. You don't want that to happen. Sometimes you do have to get rid of the ball. So that's a concern. Now, I should be totally, upfront and honest and say that the reality is that for a guy like Newman, he's gotten out of that a good amount as well. So it's not like he's only running himself into trouble there. And the first play, clearly much worse than the second play. But yeah, I mean, that's what I think about Newman as a whole. I ended up talking a lot of negatives than positives. I do think that there is probably more negatives to his game than positives to his game. But the thing is, and the reason why I still find him interesting is just the fact that what he has as positive, you can't teach. He has a big arm. He has arm strength and arm talent, which that's something you can't really get that much better at. Whereas the stuff that he struggles with is usually pocket presence. And it's, maybe making a read here and there. Again, he's fine at it. It's not a bad situation. Just could be a little bit better, I suppose. So, those are his main concerns, I would say, is stuff like that. So honestly, the biggest other concern I have with him, and the biggest other thing I talked about was that his arm strength was so good that Wake Forest started relying on it too much. So maybe with a good defense, or excuse me, a good offensive coordinator who can actually, game plan and get guys open down the field, he could do better. It's possible. Again, accuracy isn't perfect, but it's pretty good. So I like him as a prospect. I'm not going to go crazy over him, but he feels like a good fifth round pick for me. I'd feel happy with that. What do you guys think? What are your thoughts on Newman? Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.